Hey everybody, it's Jorg. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I want to go over some statistics that the AIMA have released regarding where people are from, the migration patterns in Portugal. Every year that we lived in Portugal, I tried to do a couple of videos just showing people some of the migration patterns, who is coming, who is leaving. And so there's usually some good metrics that you can glean. I put a link in the website for the data in the description, and also a pinned comment so that you can look through it yourself and glean what you want to. I just wanted to bring up these numbers to let people know, just for migration purposes, there's now over 1 million foreigners, immigrants to Portugal. I think that is for the first time ever. And this is where the breakdown happens, just so you can see this. So a little over 35% are Brazilians, um, almost 370,000 living in the country. Then followed by 5% Angolans, 55,000 from Angola, almost 50,000 from Cape Verde. Almost 48,000 are British, 44,000 are from India, a little over 36,000 are Italian, a little over 32.5 are from Guinea, almost 30,000 are from Nepal, they're Nepalese, almost 28,000 Chinese, little less for French, 27.5. But a little over 26 are Sao Tome, or from Sao Tome. That's the most represented nationalities. As you can see on there, for those of you that, let's say, are from Canada or Australia or the United States, and you're wondering where your numbers are, they're far below that. What's interesting about this is it talks about, the amount of people coming into the country. Also, when you start digging into the report, it does, talk about what I thought was interesting, is that the government stated when releasing the immigration policy in May, they changed some of their policies. Most immigrants that come into Portugal don't renew their residency at the 2-year mark. And where I'm going with that is, the implication the government, was trying to say is that, well, maybe they've already left, so they've come and they're gone, so they're not here or not in Portugal through the time to become citizens. So that there's a lot of people that are kind of coming but then leaving the country. And the interesting thing here, and what the report doesn't tap into, and I haven't seen many articles in newspapers that have addressed this, talking about the aging population in Portugal, and the fertility rate, meaning the birth rate, is continuing to decline. So as the population gets older, most of the refugees, there's a percentage of refugees that are retired, but most of them, let's say, that are in working class, aren't taking those jobs. Because the other interesting information, I'm trying to find it here, is I was trying to see, with all these new immigrants moving, has it changed the job market? Has it changed unemployment? And reading through several of the statistics that Portugal provides, it doesn't look like, and I apologize, I'm looking off camera here to try to see here, it hasn't been a substantial increase in jobs during this big migration to Portugal. Unemployment's expected to increase because you don't have more jobs created and you have more people moving, so thus it would make sense that unemployment would rise. Now, for most of you, you are not like us. We are still in the workforce. Many of you looking at this video are going to Portugal or live in Portugal. You're retired or on a pension. This doesn't matter to you as far as working. But it does beg the question that if you move to Portugal, and let's say your intention is to stay there, what happens in 10 years from now, as you have even more of an aging population, and you don't have enough newer people coming into the workforce to pay for all of the social welfare programs that are currently in place? who's going to be paying for those, and how might they increase, how much will it cost to get certain services, or meaning what are your taxes going to need to go to as you have less people in the workforce paying for services. The prices are going to go up. So those of you that are retired and moving to Portugal, some of that may impact depending on what healthcare you're choosing, and some of the services that you utilize most likely will go up in time, because as I've stated, regardless of how the tax situation has changed in Portugal for people, let's say from the US that get dual taxed, there's still a lot of people that have an interest in moving to the country for whatever reason. But what's interesting is people are not moving to Portugal for work or to find work opportunities, because in looking at other reports, just not seeing that more jobs are being created to handle this increase of people mostly still in the working years of their life. So it's interesting to pull up this data, because sometimes when you read newspaper articles, some, even the best newspapers, I don't think do a great job of in-depth, like multiple follow-up articles on something. But this is data I want to get out just so you can see where people are from, but also just realize as you're looking to move to Portugal, or if you're there the long term, you do have to ask the question, the longer you're there, who's paying for stuff when there are less people in the workforce, not more, and there's more people in the pension system than ever. Somebody's got to pay for it, and it can't be the EU writing a check every year to bail people out. So I'd love to get your opinion on this. So please comment again, because sometimes I just don't have this right. And what I read, when I question, I can't always find statistics to back up. Like if I don't buy into it, sometimes I have a hard time finding stats that back up what I'm thinking. And so those of you that are more familiar with Portugal, have lived longer in Portugal, or native to Portugal, know far more about this. So please inform us, because I am concerned about friends that are moving to Portugal now or in the coming years, and we may move back when we're retired. As much as I said we won't, you never know. Got to leave the door open there. And I am curious to see, when you have more people retired and you don't have enough people in the working to pay for all the stuff, what happens. And I'm thinking about that in the United States as well. What does Social Security look like down the road, and retirement plans and whatnot. So I really want to get your opinions on that. So please comment below. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, and enjoy your travels.